Namaste all of you. My name is Dr. Ritu Singh Rajput, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science. Today I will tell you about the export-oriented units. In 1981, the export-oriented unit, that is also called a EOU scheme, aims to increase the export from the India to thereby increase the foreign exchange earning and creating employment. This scheme also complements and other schemes such as a free trade zone and export processing zone. The previous provision of the foreign trade policy and its procedure are applicable to EOU as well as electronics, hardware, technology park, software technology park, and biotechnology park in common parents. EOU, STP, EHTP, BTP are together called to the EOU scheme. Unit registered under the EOU schemes are required to export 100% production unless they are sell objective of EO scheme is the EO scheme provide unit which is ecosystem that is conductive fundwise from them they are given various behavior and preference in compliance and taxation matter making it easier for them to conduct business export lead to an inflow of foreign exchange which helps the nation to improve its economic position by encouraging export-oriented business, the scheme are aimed to be generated additional employment through the export sector. EOUs were also expected to improve the supply chain, starting with the pronouncement of raw material to supply of finished product to the DTA. Export also means as an eventual upgrade in the quality and services. So EOU scheme was also expected to the inspire technology advancement and skill development in a nation. Benefits of EOU is they can be produced, procured raw material and capital goods through the domestic sources or import without a paying and duty on the purchase. They can claim reimbursement on GST amount they pay. In case they have paid duty on the purchase of fuel from the domestic oil companies, they can be claim a refund on the same. EOUs are allowed to claim and input tax credits on a good and services. EOUs enjoy priority basics, clearance facilities. EOUs are not required to obtain the industrial licensing which is required for manufacturing items that are reserved for the SSI sector. Important fact of remember be about the EOU is the setting up on EOU minimum investment location industries where EOUs are formed, special license, bonding periods, and now I will tell you about the difference between EOU and SEZ. Although EOUs and SEZ were initiated to boost export, there are difference between the two. EOUs can be set up anywhere in the country, provided it meets the scheme criteria. On the other hand, SEZ is a special demarcated in enclave this that is deemed to be outside the custom justification and therefore in a foreign territory. Thus, any sale made from the within SEZ to DTA is considered export, while only sale made by an EOU and DTA is regarded as a deemed exports. Now, what is the GST in EOU? A supplier must charge GST on goods supplied to the EOU for its part. The EOU can either apply for input tax credit on the GST paid while providing supplies to DTA or a claim a refund of the GST. EOUs are required to pay GST on admissible sales made to be DATA expect if it is the sale of zero rated supply which are exempt from the GST. It must be noted that the GST is applicable even in cases of the sales from one EU to another, as such as a transaction is considered as a regular sale of the purpose of the GST law, notify primary customers duty in exempt of the EO in the case of export. So this is all about the EOUs, that means export oriented units. Thank you.